All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining. Welcome back to Actual Intelligence by EXP3. So our goal here is to break down AI and crypto. And tonight we're joined by Lawrence Lin, co-founder of Copute.ai. There's a lot of, big words, buzzwords floating around, DeepIn, MSaaS, AI agents. And if you're in the space, you might already know them. But our goal is pretty simple. It's to strip everything down to first principles and understand what's actually being built, why it matters, and what things like community compute can unlock that maybe big cloud can't. And yeah, so those are the basics of this space. I want to take a moment to introduce Lawrence. So Lawrence from Copute. Can we get a bit of an intro from you? Maybe who you are and what brought you here?
Thank you for having me. So yeah, I'm the co-founder of Copute. So about myself, I've been in the crypto space full time since Go17. So my first full-time role was at 40 Global, when they opened their global office in Singapore, and they were still the top two exchanges in the world. I was their first hire and was the business operation head. After 2 years there, I opened my own Southeast Asia focus exchange with two other founders. So like got the license for Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Australia, brought in like 100 PTCs and all the good stuff. After that, I left due to strategy differences between my founders. Put up Moonscape. So Moonscape is a decentralized wallet and staking solution. So he managed to write the book. This was in 2020, 2021. All-time high 1.7 billion scale assets and successfully sold to a Singapore public company. After which, the successful exit, I joined Razer, the gaming hardware and payments company, where I was leading all blockchain efforts and reporting directly to the global CEO. And in the Web2 Ripgate space, MMC still managed to get investments through adoption and initiative executed. So it was there where I was thinking what else to do. Yeah, I saw the opportunity in GPU and compute and AI agent. So that's where Compute came about. So yeah.
Amazing, dude. That sounds fantastic. You've been in the space for a while, and you've been quietly growing, building, and yeah, really impressive. And thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, I guess the key is quiet. I realize we are, I guess maybe it's end of year, so even like BNB chain is having the same EMA as us right now, as well as some girls.
I was just listening into it, and I was like, we're gonna be competing for
Yeah.
BNB.
Yeah, apparently CZ is also speaking in it. So, I guess everyone had the same thinking of let's do one more session before end of year. So bummer on that. But yeah, still happy to be here.
Yeah, he was just before joining. I was listening into it, and he was just going through the year achievements and speaking a little bit about life after his pardon and things like that. I think the guy's a true inspiration. I think what he's done for the space in general has been a positive. But yeah, Alejandro, should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So we have a few questions to go through. But the main question for us that we wanted to share with people, and the main takeaway is it's broken into two parts. So the first part is, and please feel free to answer, is what are the current limits of AI agents?
Right. So for the current limits of AI agents, I think you can break into a couple of tiers on how you can see this. So first is the infra layer or the centralized systems and LLMs is working from. So as you know from the news, since the year before, US has been ramping up AI infrastructure. and NVIDIA has obviously been hitting profits off the roof, but that also is a bottleneck, and that is a very centralized political play. So, for example, China can't get access, and they will find some other methods of doing some other kind of LLMs that can compete. So that's where the Ali, Quang, and the DeepSeek all can come into place. So how this affect the system is as this competition between the Western and Eastern world progress, the AI agents that are working on these LMs will not be able to talk to each other. So sooner or later, you'll find AI agents who are very limited in their scope, deliberately, exactly because of this whole Western versus Eastern thing going on. So that's one. And two, obviously, due to the infra war and the centralized systems that you're leveraging on, A, it can get expensive, and B, is you're relying on centralized systems that are unfortunately not regulated, because currently the AI companies are not regulated at all. So, they can just take all your IP, they can just switch off the plug, and you're left stranded. So I guess the sort of things you need to be conscious about if you want to build AI agents on decentralized clouds and LMs. So I guess the infra and the centralized stack. The other thing on top of that is the reliability. So currently, AI agents are still unable to run consistently and continuously due to the way these LLMs and APIs are working. And so there's lack of persistent, reliable execution. So these AI agents might reset, break, or get too expensive to run. So currently, most AI agents are still in a MVP demo stage, or is working in very closed loop, limited sort of process and silo systems at this point in time.
Okay, got it. All right, so then that would lead me into the second part of the question, which is, in simple terms, what does Copute do, and how is it helping change those limits which you just described?
Right, so you can think of Copy as an execution layer for AI agents as well as AI use cases. So we started off last year providing GPU power could be companies in APAC, because there was demand, especially from China companies. So we do have the B2B power and the ability to get B2C consumer cards on board as well as industrial cards on board. So that means we can open up a open source community-owned infra. On top of that, what we hope to achieve through the blockchain layer is to reward participation. So essentially, anyone who is building their own AI agents or providing GPU power, they can run continuously, collaborate and coordinate with each other. And most importantly, any participation that you're doing in this ecosystem, you get rewarded.
Interesting. When you reference rewarding, do you mean in terms of will it be like a token reward? Is that essentially the mechanic behind it?
Right. So we have played around and we have done product feedback with our partners. For example, we are in the Track Accelerator program that is co-organized by NDI and supported by the Singapore government. We also were in one of the winners in the Quick Note Accelerator program that happened in May this year. So essentially realized Golden's is good work, but for B2B, especially Web2 companies, they might prefer fiat. So what the Copute tokens can do is you can get rewarded already by it, or if you want, we can provide fiat payments or conversion as well. So that's why we are focusing on APAC, and that's why we are headquartered in Singapore. So that's where the fiat to crypto and vice versa on ramps are available and easy to use from our side.
Amazing. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I think it's I'm all for giving the power back to the individual, right? To the little person. That it's mass owned by big tech, and for small builders, it's very, very challenging. So I love what you guys are building, and it's super exciting, man.
Yep, thank you.
Awesome. So one thing I noticed, what you were saying in your documentation is the word MSaaS, mind share as a service. Could you explain that a little bit? I wasn't able to quite grasp it. So like, what does it mean mechanically? What does it actually do? And how does it benefit people through Copute?
Right. So the thesis behind Copute is, and the problem we want to solve is that and this where my share service comes about, is that it's the same thesis as why Satoshi created BTC and blockchain. Essentially, the comparison here is the traditional financial systems are broken. The normal people will not get rewarded, and they'll be the first person to suffer if any issues happen. And it came true in the financial crisis, and that's why Bitcoin and the blockchain became more and more popular. I do envision the same thing happening in the AI industry, but the impact would be much more critical. So why is that? Is there is real political and competition, not only between the West and East, but even between like the countries like US, Europe, and whatnot. There is talent grab, there is mindshare grab, but it's not regulated at all. Currently, the AI industry is even less regulated than crypto industry. But there are billions of dollars and millions of users and use cases already ongoing and is scaling. So one of the things we are seeing is there will be a point where things will start failing and will fail massively. So what happened is we do want a fail safe, and that's where open blockchain solutions like Copute come about. Second, most importantly, and that's where mindshare service come about, is we want an ecosystem that is open and everyone gets rewarded for whatever they share. Hence, your mind share, be it your IP, be it your compute power, be it your use cases. Because essentially now, because of this all closed loop big companies, your data is being used and not being rewarded for it. All your use cases are built through linking APIs, which they can have access and copy entirely. So essentially, you're just giving everything to them, and you might not get anything in return. So that's where we are looking at a mindshare as service ecosystem, where your use cases and AI agents can consume GPU power. The community can supply it, and everyone earns when useful work gets done. And so it's not just a speculation thing going on here. We are building a utility AI centric open source ecosystem.
Amazing. And I like how you reference, Satoshi's original vision at the beginning as well. And I might be. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just really think that that's a really important message to send. Like, I feel like Satoshi's vision has been lost almost totally in some aspects over the past decade plus. So I really share that vision, and I think it's the right way to operate.
Right. So, I mean, end of year, there's a lot of reports going out. I think there was one online by one of the crypto influencers who say blockchain is gate, but not gate. So essentially, the issue with the crypto industry is very speculative, unfortunately, and because of the way people get quick wins and quick windfalls, um, it is very hard to provide real utility because people are not looking for utility. But essentially, for me, being in this industry since the start, yeah, I mean, the speculation part is great. Getting rewarded by the tokens is great. But more importantly, for it to be long term and to have usage, the blockchain layer and the thesis of the open source, yet, you can track and be transparent and share rewards fairly through contribution. I think that part is where the Web3 business model shine. And guess what? We hope to grow through Copute.
I love that. I love that. I agree. I think, it's very much an attention economy, is very much a speculative asset now. But what essentially will drive the growth in the next 10 years is through essentially what you're building, I believe. That's why I think that, the implementation of AI and the blockchain is key, and it's so important, and it's just it's a good match.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So one thing I also wanted to touch on is what's live through Copute today? Like what's live right now, and what's coming up in the roadmap?
So what's live is actually we do have B2B GPU solution and service, so providing GPU power and providing consultancy. So we do have customers and partners where we saw how they are using AI to create use cases in gaming, in robotics, and even in self-driving cars, as well as road safety. On top of that, we do have our own AI agents that's based on open source LLMs systems of our own. So Core AI is where you can verify anything about the project and team members. Again, Kopubara is a Twitter avatar which can respond to you in as a mascot representative of Copute. So those prove that we do have get infra ready, as well as AI agents that we can open up SDK for usage. So in the roadmap, we are going to do a AI agent platform where users can create their own avatar chats, and then we can open up the SDKs for B2B and B2C usage for the AI agent use cases. And then we can open up the B2C GPU power for sharing and long-running workflows from there on.
Awesome. Amazing. I was just checking out your Kopubara now. He's a cute little guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Super cool.
Awesome. Okay. So what constraints come from compute, memory, and okay, actually first this is a concept that I've kind of been struggling that maybe you could help me with. What exactly is inference?
Sorry, could you repeat in what sense? What inference?
Inference, yes, real time inference. I've seen the word coming up a lot, and I guess I'm just not familiar with the term.
Okay, so for inference, in the meaning of AI context, basically, and this is quite outdated already. Essentially, is when you are training the AI. So this is more of the context of LLMs and where you are getting the machine learning model to use its current learned knowledge and data sets to analyze new unseen data and then generate new sort of trees of predictions as well as decision workflows. So in this, it is more of, I would say, in the self-driving car, that would be more apparent. So for example, in the normal US roads, you have very good roads and good traffic light. But what if it's in Vietnam where there are a lot of scooters and there's no traffic light? How should the driving car react? They realize, the AI will need a lot more learned knowledge and new knowledge to be able to react to the situation in Vietnam compared to US. So that's like the AI inference of doing this phase of the machine learning model upgrading itself to generate new decisions will come into place.
That's a really great explanation. It's something that I sort of struggled with previously, like Alejandro. So great explanation. I've been fortunate enough to be to Vietnam a couple of times, spent a couple of months over there, and I know what the roads are like. So I really struggle to imagine a self-driving car in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh or something like that. It's difficult enough trying to cross the road, never mind navigate all the scoots of a self-driving car. But I mean, the future is heading that way, and we're already there. So yeah, like you say, inference is such an important part of that particular example.
Yeah. So this is where you do need LLMs in the as part of the game in this AI industry, where all this AI training of all the data sets and the algorithms and models are already there, and then the inference is the growing phase where these LLMs can optimize the algorithms and provide new decisions or solutions based on different environments, hence the comparison between US and Vietnam. So for Copute, we don't focus on the LLMs or AI inference exactly because we know we will never beat the current PhDs of the world. Though we do have a PhD AI expert as our CTO as well. So in this case, it is it's very interesting as a spectator, as well as a utility execution layer to see the evolution of these LLMs. So earlier this year, if you ask me, will anyone be able to compete with OpenAI or ChatGPT, I would have said no. But last quarter and this quarter, you have been seeing Gemini really just out of nowhere suddenly has the newest model is better than ChatGPT, and then you have Ali's own Quang, which is doing great work. You have DeepSeek, who has also upgraded as well. So it's not only just the Western LLMs that's doing great work. Apparently, Samsung's SLM model is also coming up, and China has its own great models as well. So interesting thing here is even with this LLM's involvement and evolution, when can we see, for example, a self-driving car operating properly in Vietnam? I think that would be not anytime soon, but I have a feeling it'll be faster than expected. So my thesis is about 5 years down the road. But how does that affect Copute? Essentially, I do see all these LLMs becoming very mainstream. So at the end of the day, it's same as the financial industry, where the payment giants evolve into very simple solutions where even SMEs can use these simple solutions and create their own ecosystem. So that's where Copute is. and we just need to be there, prove our value as an open source ecosystem, and can leverage on any LLMs or any new evolution of the AI tech to get more community to involve and value add that to the ecosystem.
Amazing, amazing, and I do agree with you. I think it's coming sooner than what we expected, which is really interesting. You referenced there a little bit about sort of maybe this sort of the East versus West in terms of AI developments and things like that. Are you of the belief that the progression and development is going to be stronger over in the East?
Right. So yeah, it's a good question in the sense that the East was actually forced to evolve due to the limitation. So they do not have access to the GPU power like US have due to the trade ban. So they were actually forced to either use very limited cards or forced to find some other solutions to solve the problem. That's one. Two is in some countries, especially China, they have access to almost all data, and they have years and years of ensuring this data is of quality. So that's where they have very good data to leverage on. So I would say it's not that the AI competition will be like a clear winner. What I'm seeing on the ground is that both sides of the world are focusing on different use cases. So I do feel that the Eastern side, the China side, the self-driving cars and the robotics will be better. While you can see the B2C, the digital solution and service, the ChatGPTs and Geminis are more intuitive and have use cases that can be used by companies. So I do see that these two, Western, Eastern, US and China are focusing on different type of use case. And for very good reason, because China have a lot of people. So if they do the same in US, then you have an issue of a lot of China citizens losing their jobs, and that's not good for that political system and the way it govern. But having robotics and having self-driving cars that will increase productivity, I think that's where China is focusing on compared to US.
Interesting take. Yeah, I think there's potentially, who knows regarding the situation, but there could be sort of definite areas of collaboration there, and AI as a force would be, of course, be a lot stronger.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's where it converges to be a collaborative ecosystem, where the mind share and all that comes into place. Guess what? The thesis of Copute is about, where community compute is not just about compute power, but also use cases and collaborative effort. So let's see how it goes. But definitely, I don't think the AI industry is just one winner takes all. I do see different companies might become the winner in different use cases.
Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna take a bit of a pivot here. And start to try to focus a little more on the future of community AI or community run AI. Because of Copute and what you guys do. So one of my key questions here is why do you believe AI infrastructure should be community owned?
Right. So one of the reasons when I was at Razer, I thought this project will work is at first China was able to get GPU cards from NVIDIA, they actually could buy the same type of cards as US. And then the trade war happened, and then suddenly they don't have access to the cards. So as a middleman, this equivalent of the kimchi premium in the Google Gates and South Korea bank BTC. So that is a low-hanging fruit revenue, as well as opportunity to get access to all these AI experts and partners and see what they are doing. So as a revenue generator, that has been great and has been working for us since last year. But essentially what we realize is it's not just a revenue opportunity, but it is also an issue. So if US can get to the fastest growing economy in the world, who's to say who else they can do it to or won't do it to? Again, last year and this year, we see how US have been treating even their partners and allies. So there is a need for open ecosystem that's not controlled by a centralized player. And hence where we feel community compute is important. Because end of the day, if your country is fighting it out, you are not getting even the GPU cards. You can't even do your AI use cases. The only people you can depend is your network and the peers online. So that's why I think that's the power of the internet, and that's why I think blockchain as a usage and use case shine.
Yeah, and I think also, avoiding sort of the centralization risks and it should, in theory, bring fairer rewards for everybody as well. So amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the rewards is definitely something that has been lacking. All your online data, be it you're running through YouTube, your Google search, all that, are all great data. Get fed the LLMs for years. So wherever you're using now, if you are paying for subscription, essentially you should be getting a discount based on whatever data you provided previously. So that is another issue where unfortunately all these solutions are based from the power of the community, and we still have to pay for it. So yeah, if you think about it, it's just a very weird business model. And why not have a Web3 business model where you value add, use the solution, you get rewarded, and paid for doing work on it and providing wherever you are providing, as a mindshare as a service model.
Of course. So that makes sense. So I think one thing we kind of glossed over a little bit is, if I understand correctly, Copute is a DePIN aggregator, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So can you just explain, because just to preface, my next question is going to be based on DePIN. So I just want to make sure people understand this correctly. But can you just quickly explain what a DePIN aggregator is, and why do that instead of build a single network? And then I'll carry that. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Right. So in layman's term, is execution application router. So essentially, Copute routes AI agent workloads or GPU power across an open network. So whatever use case gets running in this ecosystem is not locked to one cloud or chain or provider, and all the workloads and GPU power and any sort of compute or activity is being tracked. So it's transparent, it can't be hacked. So it is very fair and open, rewarding ecosystem for aggregation of workloads. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for prefacing that. So my next question is, all right, what failures have other DePIN networks faced, and how is Copute approaching it differently from everyone else?
Right. So, when we started Copute, we already saw the issue of um, the AI use cases, for example, LLMs, cannot be run using consumer GPU card. So essentially, your CPU at home or your gaming laptop at home is not powerful enough to run B2B large language models or B2B AI rendering demands. So when we saw some bigger names that was in the industry before us claiming that they have a lot of GPU cards and they are opening up the B2C and giving token rewards to the community, we knew that was not sustainable. And we knew that would be a problem. And indeed, that's where, DP sort of blew up last year. A lot of community of these projects complain because they are not getting their rewards and no one's actually using their GPU cards and so on and so forth. So that was a problem we anticipated and that was a problem we worry about. Unfortunately, our anticipated scenario happened. Hence, that's why we were very conservative in opening up our B2C and opening up GPU power from consumer cards, because we know it's not sustainable until we can find AI or rendering use cases that actually will use these community B2C cards. So that is why we built the AI agents layer, and that's why we know, for example, our cloud gaming solution, our AI agent use cases can use these consumer cards. And the community can provide their GPU cards and it can be used. So that was the concern we had, and the development time for the layers took a while for us, compared to, let's say, the other deeping projects. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for going through that. So I just wanted to now take a moment to go through, Lawrence, as the leader of Copute here, what is your long-term vision for the world? And what is your long-term vision for a world where AI agents run on community compute? How do you believe Copute will change the world with what you're doing?
Right. So, unfortunately, I had the answer, but Elon Musk say better than me. So if you saw, he had all hands on deck meeting with XAI, his AI company. And he's saying is if the company can survive the next 3 years, then it can dominate the rivals. So the keyword is if, and even his $1 billion company will need to survive the next 3 years. Well, unfortunately for us, the reality is the Web3 space is in a bear market and it's still very FOMO-ish. And two is a lot of projects have died or are dying. And three is deeping due to all the promise of tokens and use cases have sort of fizzled a bit. So for us, we are being very realistic. That's why we are now focusing on B2B, and then our products and solutions will be very use case centric from Jan onwards. So when users are using it, they still will not see the blockchain layer unless they check our testing and stuff. The reason for that is even though Web3 space is in a bad season, even though deeping sort of is off, but the AI demand and the open decentralized ecosystem demand is there. there is still a need for AI use cases, and there is still a demand for alternative solutions. So for us, the roadmap for the next 3 years is to survive, providing an ecosystem of our own use cases that the community can use to become their own, as well as a alternative ecosystem where you get consistent performance, low cost, and wherever you provide, you own it, and you get rewarded for it. If you can do that properly, I say we do have a good chance, like in the same as AI, to dominate not only maybe web fuel, but also as a AI execution layer.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I think you're right, and I think that sort of term of realism is actually really important to note, because we've all seen really good projects struggle, in terms of sort of running out of runway, real builders, having to fold just due to poor market conditions and things of that nature. So, I think the key is right. Continue building, and see what happens, right? I think the general approach of Copute is so solid and so strong, and with you at the helm, I think, and your team, I think you'll have ultimate success. But like you say, it's just getting through the hard times.
Yeah, and it's also through the learnings. So also, for example, we actually last year we started off first 6 months, just focusing on the B2B side of things and getting real revenue, providing GPU power and collaboration, all that. So we only started the testnet and the crypto rah in July last year. Our first anticipation, first thesis was BTC will all-time high, the all-season will kick in. So unfortunately that didn't happen. Then we had to rethink our own product roadmap and solutions, cause from July last year we were actually going to be all in crypto. So we already opened our B2C marketplace for consumer card GPU. We're going to give tokens and all that. But if the market can't support that demand, essentially it will backfire on us. So that's one. Two is again we had that hope that all-season was coming, because June this year was really great. So we peggled up our road to TG. In fact, we're doing a quest with a partner called Bandit, which on hindsight might not be the best partner name to use, because Bandit. So we hit 12 ads in community in Telegram community, and we hit 52,000 followers on Twitter. Unfortunately, I think this was in September, October, where ads algorithm suddenly became more stringent. Maybe because Elon Musk broke up with Trump and he was scared of getting sued by crypto folks and whatnot. And because the Bandit Quest site was too high in demand, we sort of got into the blacklist, and we slowly saw our 52K followers drop to the current numbers. So the learning we had was A, the odd season didn't kick in, and B, the current big players are becoming more careful, exactly because the odd season didn't kick in, and some backlash and whatnot would have happened. So that's why we decided, okay, this is not going to work out. Especially since our ads algorithm we are in the blacklist. We can't do the airdrops and promo campaigns. So hence we focus on the B2B since November onwards. We do have a collaboration with RD Cloud coming up. We did apply to Google's cloud collaboration accelerator as well. But more importantly, we do still have our own GPU providers, and we do have our own open source SDKs and LMs. So we just need to sort of pivot or tweak it so that it's not Web3 centric at the moment, but it's still all on the blockchain layer. And when the odd season kicks in, hopefully next year, again maybe in June, then we can do the road to PG formally.
Amazing. So all being well, market conditions go well, and we see a more of a bullish sentiment. Your community and users can potentially maybe expect something in 2026. That's there's a lot of factors, but yeah, really exciting. And I think for your community, it's positive. It's positive as a when you're following a community and you see a team continuously pushing a co-founder like yourself who is all in. I think is amazing, man. Good for you. And then in terms of yourself and for Copute, where can the community find you? Where can our listeners find you, and what can they expect?
Yep. So go follow us on Copute AI on X. You can also search for us on Telegram to get the latest updates, as well as our product release in Jan. There'll all be use cases that the community can use, and from there we'll build up the community as well as the ecosystem. And we will do a proper TG because we do want to make sure all our community members get rewarded. So please follow and stay tuned.
Amazing. Love it, man. That was fantastic. It was a really great space. You're clearly so educated on yourself and the sector in which you operate in, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And again for this, unfortunately, I think we definitely cannot fight against CZ and BNB Chain when they go live. So it's a bit of an awkward situation. But let's see you next time.
Yeah. Fighting CZ for mindshare is never a smart move. But anyway, these things happen for a reason. So amazing. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Thank you so much to Lawrence. Alejandro, do you want to do the outro?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Next space we have, actually, we recently scheduled another one. So, Monday the 22nd at, I think, midnight CST. We'll be doing AI and culture, how AI is impacting culture. We'll have Liquidity God and some other KOLs coming on as well. So yeah, please feel free to join. Come and speak and let us know. Well, anyone is welcome. Let us know if you'd like to join. Finally, I see more people in here, so if anyone wants to take a quick second to ask Copute any questions directly, please feel free to raise your hand. Maybe I'll buy a bit more time with a quick question for Lawrence here. Let me see. Okay, so Lawrence, there is one we're just gonna try to do a new segment for our spaces where we do a kind of over the top question. So I just wanted to give you this question. If you could build any AI agent and compute was not an issue, what's the wildest AI agent you would build?
Right. So it will be like how Google started their search engine, so the spiders crawling the web. So you can think of it like a matrix, the swarms. So I do feel there will be someone or some company that will build a planet scale agent swarm that can congregate humans, tools, resources in real time to solve real problems. So that might sound crazy, but I do feel we will see such swarms happening in the next year or two. So that will be really interesting.
That's really cool, actually. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Maybe Copute will be a helper in that. Awesome. Well, I think that is all the topics we had to cover. Thank you so much, Lawrence. And we'll see everyone on the next space.
All right, thank you everyone. Again, take care. Bye.
Cheers, guys.